Hey guys, so I'm here to bring you first an updated Cyber Dragon deck list for the new format post September 2020 ban list, and to bring you 3 replays with commentary as usual, this time going against Rockets, Dogmatika Traptrix, and Burning Abyss Monarchs. And if you enjoy Cyber Dragon content, then consider liking the video and subscribing because that really does make my day. Alright guys, so on to the updated deck list. So first thing you'll notice is that I am trying out the no dupe variant. And this is because I really want to play the Gamma package in this format, and I personally found this package a little too clunky in the dupe variant when playing the Dragoon package as well, because along with Driver and any additional Gammas that you can't use on top of potentially drawing any cards in the Dragoon package, having any dead machine dupes can really make things kind of bricky. But of course, up to you if you still want to fit the Gamma package in the dupe variant, do what makes you comfortable. Now, a key reason why I want to play the Gamma package is that with the September 2020 ban list, Rockets and Infernoble Knights weren't touched, and they both rip cards out of your hand, especially Infernoble Knights. And I just wanted more hand traps in my deck, and Gamma can be a really clutch card against those decks, but also against a lot of decks in general. Now, we do finally have Harpy's Feather Duster again, so I'm really excited to have access to this card and be able to resolve it now. And so in total, we are running 42 cards in the main, and our side is the same as my previous deck profile video, which I'll provide a link in the description below in case you haven't seen that yet. Now, one thing to consider is siding in Lancia if we do see a lot of Orcus as people predict, because Rusty is back now. Now, at least in terms of Dueling Book data for ranked matches, you actually don't see Orcus as one of the most commonly played decks as of right now, so I'm going to hold off on making room for Lancia for now, although of course they are very helpful against dinos as well. And now as for the extra, again, it's the exact same as my previous deck profile video, so go check that out if you haven't. And now, I don't want to dwell too much on the deck list update, so let's just get along with the replays. Alright guys, so let's move on to the first replay against Rockets. Now, Rocket's incredibly strong deck, and I can't believe it didn't get touched on this list, but let's just see how it goes. And this isn't really a hand you want to see against Rockets, because now that they have access to Smoke Grenade with Violent Cube and also Levianeer putting cards back, you really want to see hand traps, and even then they can play through multiple hand traps. But here, I'm just kind of fast forwarding here because they are just gonna combo off, and I actually do scoop there because I do see the Violent Cube. So we opt to go first for game 2. So we are going to start off with the core and get the overflows just so we can have a good turn 1 setup, at least to the extent that Cyber Dragons can. And we are trying to get another soldier off as well as Hertz's effect, but it looks like he imprims on the soldier, so that's kind of interesting. And at this point, I could technically special the Naxxer by pitching Cyber Dragon and then use Naxxer to special the Cyber Dragon back and then do our Nova Infinity play, but if we do that, we get locked into machines, and I'd rather bring out Dragoon. So that's kind of what we do. We just go into Anaconda instead, and we pay cost. Now at this point, our opponent says that he is thinking on the summon of Anaconda, so I kind of put back the life points, but it looks like he's allowing it to resolve. So we do at least get to bring out Dragoon. Not a best setup, but what can you do? So our opponent does have the Dark Ruler, so there goes our Dragoon's effect. But on the normal summon of Safer, I do decide to pop here, and looks like our opponent actually scoops there. So thankfully, we survive, and that was enough. Now game 3, as expected, we are forced to go second, but we do draw pretty well with 3 hand traps, although in terms of our follow-up play, we'll kind of see where that goes. So our opponent summons the Black Metal Dragon to go into Striker, and gets the Boot Sector launch as well as Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Now he's going to banish it so he can summon the Red Eyes Darkness and bring back the Black Metal. And now he can go into Romulus. And so here I do use Gamma and get rid of that and negate its effect. And then it looks like our opponent has Botar and tries to use its effect. I don't want him to extend any further, so I do Ash here. And so he's able to special summon 2 off of Boot Sector and goes into Halki Fibrax and brings, first searches the Rocket Tracer and then brings out the Violon Cube. So here is where we do decide to Nibiru. and summon the token, and I make sure to put it under the extra monster zone, which you should make a habit of as well, if you play relinquished anima, that is. So not the greatest way of making Cyber Dragon plays, but still enough to go for game. So we are going to summon the Naxxrator and then chain Veer's effect to summon itself. Then we are going to go into anima, suck up the token, just 0 attack, and then now we can just go into Anaconda and do our old-fashioned way, send the overload, and bring out Chimera Tech Rampage. We can just pop the boot sector, use Rampage, send the Hertz and the core, add the core back to hand, and well, this is enough for game because we attack 3 times with Rampage and then again with Nibiru. And well, looks like that's game. Alright guys, so on to our second match against Dogmatika Traptrix. Now, I don't have that much experience playing against Traptrix, and this match certainly ends up being grindy, as one would expect. So our opponent starts off with the Traptrix Murmello. We do Imperm here, and he goes into Sarah and sets 2 and passes. So we are going to start off with the Cyber Dragon and Contact Fuse for Mega Fleet. And then we're going to summon the Hertz, go into Almirage. I don't use Hertz's effect here because I only have 1 Cyber Dragon in deck, and I don't want to return the 1 engraved to hand because I do want to try to resolve this Overload Fusion. So summon it out and try to attempt to pop the 2 back row. And our opponent uses Sanctum here, which is interesting. I mean, he could have used at the beginning of the turn, but so he does summon the Scythe, and at least this way he gets to pop, or at least try to pop, my Rampage with the Sanctum that I pop with Rampage. But I can use Almirage to protect. Now here, if I played additional Cyber Dragons, because now I'm playing the no dupe variant, so I only have 1 Cyber Dragon, which is banished right now. But if I had additional Cyber Dragons, what I could have done was use Forbidden Droplet, send Mega Fleet as cost, and negate Scythe's effect, and then I would use Rampage, send Naxxrator and the other additional Cyber Dragon, and then use Ref System to bring back Naxxrator, and then Naxxrator would bring back Cyber Dragon, and then go into Seeger and try to go for game. But he does have the Ash anyway, so that play wouldn't have worked out anyway, so I guess this works. So we are just going to poke him for 2400, set the Droplet, and try to go from there. So next, he summons out the Traptrix Diane, uses her effect. I'm probably butchering all these names, sorry about that. So I do try to negate it with Mega Fleet. And he just goes into Sarah, and now this is where I see that he's playing the Dogmatika variant. So this is not looking too good for us. So he does summon the Fleur de Lis, attacks into Rampage, and pokes in for quite a bit of damage. So for turn we do draw Hertz, which works out. And so we're going to summon the Hertz, go into Mega Fleet, and again, because I don't have another Cyber Dragon deck, I can't use Hertz effect, but we're going to use the Ref System to bring back the Hertz, and now we can go into Anaconda and bring out Dragoon, and we can go for game because we can pop and then attack. And our opponent realizes this and scoops. So on to game 2, I am forced to go first, and I draw all the back row hate cards that I would have wanted to see going second, and so I just scoop here. So our opponent looks like has the Dogmatika cards right from the beginning. We do Imperm here, and he's going to use Sarah, special summon out the Murmello, and attack for damage. And looks like he's gonna set 3, and so here we will start off with the evenly and hope that it resolves. And looks like it does, so evenly for 5, that feels pretty good. And we can also use the Cyclone and get rid of that last remaining set, and we'll set the other Cyclone that we have and the Overflow, and we'll banish their other set card that they put before ending their turn. So, well, looks like we're not drawing too well, so not much to do but to pass at this point. And, well, Dark Magician, wow, this is really not looking good. So we unfortunately do pass again, and opponent summons the Mantis, adds a Dionea to hand, goes into Sarah and activates Shade Brigandine, and then uses Sarah's effect, special summons the Murmello, and Mermello, or Mermelio, again, I'm just butchering these names, I'm sure, tries to pop the overflow, and I do just pop that there and try to use overflow's effect to add, but I do get Ash, so that really hurts. And he goes into Dagda and attacks for 15. We're still in this, we just need a good draw, but that red reboot definitely was not it. So we are going into game 3, we choose to go second again, and our hand is okay. But looks like he starts with the Dogmatika card, so we can Ash here. And set 2, okay, so here we are going to start off with the Cyber Dragon and summon the core and get the Repair Plant, so we have access to the Nova Infinity. We're going to go into Mirage and get the Soldier, and using Hertz effect we're just going to add back the core from grave and get that second Soldier from deck. So now we do go into Nova, but looks like our opponent has Compulse, so that gets sent to the extra deck, but it's okay, we can still kind of extend through, and we do summon that second Soldier to go into Anaconda, but looks like he has the punishment and destroys the Anaconda. In end phase I do Ash his Ash Dragon effect, so it looks like it's going to be a grindy match. I do get hit by Ecclesia, take the 1500, but it's still my turn. Okay, so we do start with the core, but it gets ashed. So I just decided to use my emergency just to search the core for the next turn. So our opponent is going to summon the Mermelio again and get the Grave Digger's Trap Hole and attack into core. So we summon the core, get the ref system. At this point I'm just trying to put up a body because I'm getting kind of worried about life, so I'm just going to bring back the Hertz and then just go into the Seeger. I do know that set is most likely a Grave Digger's Trap Hole, but I do try to use Hertz effect because in the future I may have a grave effect that I may want to use, so I'm just going to get rid of that now and just kind of attack over the Mermelio. So we're going to set the Imperm, looks like our opponent just passes. We draw the Rare Reboot, not useful right now, but may come up later. Looks like our opponent does summon the Mantis and adds a Dania. And I get Kaiju on the Seeger, okay. And then he summons out the Redoer and attacks over our Gamma Seal. So we draw the Veer, not great. I do negate Time Thief Redoer's effect on the standby phase. So now I summon the Naxxter off of core, and then chain Veer's effect, special summon itself, and then Naxxter is going to target the Seeger, bring that back. Now Seeger is at 2600 right now because of fear, so we do get over Time Thief Redoer. So we do get hit by Dark Ruler, opponent's going to summon that Dania, and bring back the Mantis, and go into Traptrix Alurmus, and uses her effect to special summon Dania, set the Gravedigger's Trap Hole again, and attacks over Seeger and Fear. So this is actually good for me because Naxxter is what I need on the board. So I do go into Anima and suck up that Alurmus, and we can at least have enough attack to beat over his monster. So it looks like our opponent passes, and looks like it's just going to be a relinquished Anima beatdown today. And we're going to set that Imperm in that column with the set. He sets 2 more. We do have the emergency now, so I'm like, okay, we can kind of finally go. And okay, well, never mind. So we're just gonna keep attacking with Anima, and that Ash really hurt, but it's okay. So we're going up against set 4 here. I really wish Alurmus had 200 more attack, but looks like he still gets to survive for 1 more turn. An opponent finally draws a monster, but we do Imperm here. And he goes into Sarah, and here he plays a Shade Brigadine, and I do Red Reboot on his turn in hopes that he doesn't have any other set card, or rather that he doesn't have a trap that he can set from his deck that can get rid of my Anima. And our opponent does concede because he can't do anything this turn, and I can just attack over his Sarah for game. Alright guys, so on to our final replay against Burning Abyss Monarchs. So that's kind of an interesting mix. So our hand is kind of awkward. You never want to really draw the Red Eyes Fusion. In some cases it can help if you have nothing but hand traps, but so here we do Gamma on the Graph effect. And looks like our opponent just sets one and passes, so we draw another Gamma for turn. Not great. So, I mean, I do have the hand to OTK, so I decide not to use Red Eyes Fusion and try to see if I can game him. But looks like he does have Forbidden Droplet here. And he sends the Seer as cost, and then that can bring back Graph. So we go into Alma Rush. We do wait for the Phantasme to summon. And then now he draws 2. Puts back 1, and then Graph is destroyed, and then now he can bring out Skarm. So, and then Skarm's destroyed, of course, and then we use Repair Plant to summon the Naxter, and we're just trying to we go into Nightmare Phoenix here to just have a generic link to get over Phantasme, but realistically I probably should have just summoned out the Mega Fleet. But we do use Overload Fusion just to do some damage, but kind of have a follow-up play because we can send the Hertz and Core and just add the Core back to hand. So we do go into battle, just attack over the Phantasme and deal some damage with Rampage. And our opponent does get to get the Tour Guide off of Skarm's effect in the end phase, and so he does get to kind of do his Burning Abyss plays now. Specials the Graph, then goes into Cherubini, brings out the Barfa, sends a Seer, which brings back the Skarm, and then brings out the Dante, mills 3, and this is where I see the Monarch cards, and I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. And so he also adds back Erebus by pitching the Prime Monarch, and he does attack over my Phoenix and then Rampage. So here we're looking pretty good. We're just gonna use the Emergency just to bait out any Ash that he may have, and then we do use the Red Eyes Fusion, bring out the Dragoon, and we can just pop and burn for game and attack. So we are going to game 2, and I am forced to go first. And we draw the Red Eyes. I'm just drawing all the Dragoon package cards today. So we go into Hertz, or some of the Hertz rather. Bring out the Alma Rush, add the Cyber Dragon, use the Repair Plant, and add the Soldier. And summon out just the Soldier. We're going to add the Soldier, and we're just going to go into our Dragoon play here and rather than Nova Infinity because, well, we can't. So I accidentally add the Red Eyes Fusion to hand here, but so we do get to bring out Dragoon, and we set the Imperm and pass. So our opponent starts with the Monarch Stormforth. I do have to negate it, otherwise he's just going to tribute over my Dragoon. So now our Dragoon is at 4000 attack. So he summons the Skarm, Graph to go into Dante and mills 3. Brings out the Calcab and attacks over my Anaconda with Dante. And then an end phase, or main phase rather, he does go into Beatrice, and also my Imperm is returned to hand using Calcab. So for turn we draw the one card that I really wanted to draw, which is the Kaiju. So we just plop that on there. We can pop it, burn it for 3300, and then use Repair Plant, search the core, use core, search the ref system, you know, and then go into Seeger and just attack for game. So, well, our opponent realizes that and scoops. Alright guys, so that's it for another series of replay videos for Cyber Dragons, this time in our new format, post-September 2020 ban list. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoy these replays. I certainly have fun bringing them. Anyways guys, if you liked the video, consider subscribing if you haven't already done so, and take care.